the point of the candy is you can either eat it now or you can save it, and at the end you could either have more candy or not. It's going to help teach interest. So as we go on, there'll be certain times where you can come and get more candy, or well, I'll bring the candy to you, but it's up to you. You can either eat it now, get a little bit, or wait until the end to get all of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start here with some definitions. So budgeting is going to be kind of one of the main focuses of this, and that's just going to be, planning how to use your resources that you get. Most of it's going to end up being the money you get from your jobs. If you have a job now or you get a job later, I don't know when they hire. So stocks are shares in a company that you can purchase, and sometimes they can pay yearly dividends, which is going to be a small percentage or a small amount of money that they're going to give you, and you can have that reinvested into other stocks. And then bonds are something you can loan your money in exchange and get paid, get interest payments. Mutual funds are a collection of individual companies or stocks or bonds, or a mixture of both. So it's kind of like a more diverse thing. And it's more like long term. So if you're going for like saving for retirement or just anything that's more long term down the road, then you're going to go for the mutual funds. Exchange traded funds. Those are traded like a stock, but it's an index, and so those are kind of similar to mutual funds, but there's a little bit more short-term advantages with some of those. And the Roth IRA is what you guys are really going to want to focus on. It's an account where you can put your money into, and and annually, up to a certain point, if you're working, you can grow your money tax-free for retirement, and the max contributions are going to be $6,000 annually. So that would be a really good thing to open up when you get, let's say, your first job. That's what I did. My first job was at Publix, and I opened up a Roth, and I was just putting into it. I wasn't putting much into it, obviously, because I wasn't making much, but it has grown considerably, and I think I put maybe $100 in a month for the first 3 months, and then after that I put in a little bit less. But for you guys' age, you're gonna want to focus on that. And the traditional IRA is pre-tax, so that's a retirement account that you can contribute your money to grow your money for retirement that gets the tax deduction. So that's gonna be better for, I guess, long-term stuff. Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with needs and wants. Does anybody have any examples of some needs? Yep. What?
Food?
Yes. Anybody else? Yes.
Money? I don't know.
Money could be a need if you spend it on needs. So wants are going to be basically an expression of a need, right? So you need food, but do you need a steak? Like you could get just like ramen noodles. But so that's going to be like the key thing, is determining what you want versus what you need. And it's a lot harder nowadays determining what you want and need just because of social media or whatnot. So you're gonna have to, that's gonna come into play with budgeting. You're gonna have to figure out what you want, what you need, because at the end of it's probably easier for you guys, since most of the time your parents are providing the needs for you, so hopefully, so all the wants are gonna be what you're focusing on. So you're gonna want to probably do a monthly budget Um, I'm old school. I would just write it down, but you can, type it up. There's probably apps you can do for it too. But you can put in an estimate. You can write down an estimate of what you make, right? You can do, let's say, okay, I need $20 for food. I need $50 for gas, and I make $120 a week. So you take that out, and then I would try to save at least 20%. Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you gotta save less or more. But in the end goal, you're going to want to try to save at least every week, because from personal experience, I fell into a bad habit of not saving for a little bit, and that didn't go so well in the long run. So, highly encourage saving. Okay, so let me go back to. Okay, let's go through wants a little bit more. What are some examples of some wants? Does anyone have any?
You got plenty of wants out there.
Like candy.
Yes. You got one?
Like school trips.
Yep. Yeah, so basically, I mean, you can go without these things, right? But you really want them, obviously. So when you're budgeting, you kind of got to budget in a small percentage for once, because you can't, gotta have some enjoyment in life. Let's see here. Okay, well, so what are some examples that you guys would use for budgeting? Like, what would you budget? If you had to make a monthly budget, what would you put in your budget? Yes.
Groceries.
Yep, that's a good one. It's always, it's hard because the price goes up a lot and you never know which is on sale. So you gotta estimate that. So like, let's say it's a little bit easier when you have a fixed expense. Like you say, oh, I know my car insurance is going to be this much per month. That's where it gets a little bit tricky when it comes to saving, because you don't know how much that's going to be. You can say you could spend $50 one week and then $100 the next week. Any other budgeting like examples or ideas? Okay, so with budgeting, you can't just do a monthly budget. You can also do a weekly budget. I didn't include it, but if you want to, you can go week by week. Maybe if you have, let's say, an allowance, right? You get $10 a week. You decide, obviously, but you decide, hey, I'm gonna spend $5, I don't know, on candy, and then the other $5 you're gonna spend half on something, and then you're gonna save the other half. So you can go on a weekly basis. It doesn't have to be monthly. You can go yearly basis, monthly. It just depends on what your situation is there. Yeah, and then for saving, when you save your money, you want to try to make sure that it's in an account that is going to be able to grow your money. Because if you put it in a regular savings account, you're going to gain interest, but not so much as if you were to invest the money, right? Because everybody wants more money when they retire. So you're going to try to save as much as you can, and to invest as much as you can, because that's going to help you out long term. So now I'll do a round of interest. All right. Okay, so
All right, ladies, bring it together.
all right. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's better to wait and gain interest, or would you say it's better to have instant gratification and eat the candy when you get it?
Wait.
Definitely wait. So that's going to be the same thing for your money, right? It's better to save it, wait, get that interest, than to just spend it now, because yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the main benefit from interest is going to be you're going to be happier later down the line, right? So like, let's say I gave you one piece of candy, you'd be happy, but if you wait a little bit and you get that second piece of candy, you're obviously going to be a lot more happy, and that's going to be the same way that the saving part of that works. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the Roth. If you guys start your own Roth when you get a job, that's gonna be you can it's like another way of saving your money, right? So you're saving, but you're also investing at the same time. So you're increasing the money that you can make potentially, or because if you're in a regular savings account, maybe you're making a little bit of interest. The interest rates, I don't think they're super high right now, but when you're in your Roth, you can make more, and you can also take out what you contribute tax free. So let's say you put in $1,000 and you got $3,000 in there by 2 years. You can take out that original 1,000 and use that. Okay, so I didn't write this down here, but I'm gonna give you guys some candy again. All right.
Guys, I gotta use it. That session. I don't know.
All right. Okay, so out of the candy that you guys have, do you guys have a favorite candy out of those two?
Unicorn. The 100 grand.
Okay. And so all right. How many like the chocolate coins? Raise your hand.
I mean, I like
Okay. Now, how many prefer the 100 grand? Okay. Now, if you guys want, you can trade your 100 grand for a coin, or you can trade your coin for 100 grand. Does anybody want to do that? Does anybody want to trade? Okay.
Wait, Riley.
Okay, who was it?
You could probably take that.
Okay.